Welcome for today's webinar in partnership with Banque Raiffeisen, where we will see what are the tax benefits as a customer of Raiffeisen. Let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Patrick Margi. I'm co-founder of taxx.lu. Taxx.lu is a website that exists since 2018 and that helps everyone in Luxembourg to file their tax return in the most easy way. Starting from October 25 on, we have a partnership with Banque Raiffeisen, and up from that moment on, you have different advantages, and the main advantage here is a 30% discount on all our packages at taxx.lu. We will see this in a minute. And of course, as a Raiffeisen customer, you're also getting all the benefits like our other customers. You have full access to the platform, and of course our customer support. You will get, after filing your tax return, you can schedule a free personalized phone consultation with our tax optimization experts, so we can identify your options to lower your tax burden. And after this call, you're also getting a tax optimization summary with information about the different products that Raiffeisen provides that could help you to save on taxes in Luxembourg. So main advantage here is the 30% discount that you are getting. You're getting this discount in a very easy way. It is enough to indicate on your tax return your Raiffeisen IBAN bank account number, and then automatically you will get this 30% discount on all our packages. What are those packages? The standard package for 48.30 euros. It basically includes your tax return. So you are creating an account on our website. You are step-by-step following the different forms. If you have questions, you can reach out to our customer support team. And at the end, you will download your the official tax form with all the data that you provided on taxx.lu, and you can file your taxes and send it to tax administration. The Plus package includes a manual verification of a tax return by our tax experts. So after completing the forms on taxx, my team will check your tax return and come back to you if something is not 100% clear, or they will confirm you that everything was okay, and then you can download your tax return and file it. On top of this, it also includes a verification of your tax assessment. So basically on taxx.lu, the system will calculate automatically the tax due or the taxes that you can get back from tax administration. And if this result on taxx.lu is different from the one from tax administration, in the Plus package and also the Premium package, my team can check where is this difference coming from. And if needed, we can help you to get in touch with tax administration to ask for a reconsideration. The Premium package, it also includes, on top of the Plus package, a video call with one of our tax experts. This Premium package is often booked by people that have questions about the Luxembourg tax system, but also questions about maybe a personal situation that is changing. They are getting parents, they bought a home, they are getting a divorce or whatever. So here my team can answer all the questions that you may have for the last tax return or for the tax year we are in right now. Let's have a look about the different deductions that you can claim on the Luxembourg tax return. There are three main categories here. The first one is what is called special expenses. There you can find interests on personal loans, insurance premiums, but also investments into a private pension plan, home savings plan, or donations you are giving to charity. Another category is called allowances. There you can find different childcare expenses and domestic help costs, but also extraordinary expenses. Today, we won't talk about extraordinary expenses. As the name says, it's kind of extraordinary. On taxx.lu, you will get more information when you are going step by step through the different forms, and maybe you have different expenses here that you could deduct. One example for some expats maybe money that they are sending to their family members, to their parents. If those parents don't get a pension in their country, it could be allowed to deduct the money you are sending them as extraordinary expenses on your Luxembourg tax return. There are different rules. The calculations here are quite complicated, but our system will do them for you automatically. And then last deduction that is claimed by a lot of taxpayers, it's basically interest you are paying on a mortgage. So let's have a closer look to different deductions. First category, it's interests on personal loans and insurance premiums you are paying. For every deduction on the Luxembourg tax return, there are maximum deductible limits. In this category, the maximum deductible limit is 672 euros per family member in your household. So, for example, a couple with 2 kids, they could deduct 4 times 672 euros, so a maximum of 2,688 euros. If this family would have a taxable income of around 120k, this deduction of 2,688 would make them save 1,120 euros in taxes. So what is included exactly in those deductions? On the one hand, you have, as mentioned, interests on loans. The most popular one here is a consumer loan, and I would say that the most common we see here is a loan for a car purchase. But you can also deduct credit card interests if you have paid any, and also overdraft interests on your bank accounts. On the other hand, in the same category, you can deduct insurance premiums. Here, the most common one is the civil liability insurance for your car, for example. You have to know that for the car, it's only the civil liability part of that insurance that is deductible. So if you have a full damage insurance, the full damage premiums are not deductible, but only the civil liability insurance. If you are with a Luxembourgish insurance company, they will provide you tax certificates every year with the exact amount that you could deduct here. Also deductible as insurances is private healthcare, but also life insurance. And life insurance, there, our partner Raiffeisen, they have the product Air Protect, which is basically a life insurance that helps you to protect your loved ones. And it also could help to build some savings. So basically, you can contact your banker, he can give you more information, but for such a contract, you can start with 50 euros per month minimum, but you could also invest more, knowing that you can only deduct up to 672 euros per member of the household. So it really depends on your situation, how much would make sense here from a tax perspective. The capital at the end of the contract, normally it's minimum of 10 years. It's tax exempted, so you don't pay money on the savings that you will getting out of the contract after 10 years. And you have also different possibilities here, for example, with an investment into investment funds. So don't hesitate to contact your banker at Raiffeisen to have more information about Air Protect. Another deduction on the tax return, and that one was a lot in the news over the last, let's say, 12 months, because in Luxembourg there will be a major tax, sorry, not the tax reform, but a public pension reform. And this one will also be impacted because the government announced that this maximum deductible limit will be increased to 4,500 euros per year, starting from next year on. The law has not yet been voted, but it will probably be voted in December. It will be active for 2026. But right now, the maximum deductible limit for private pension plans is 3,200 euros per adult person in the household. So here, kids are not involved in this maximum deductible limit. At the 3,200 is really individually per person. So in our example, a couple with 2 kids, they can deduct 2 times 3,200 euros, so a maximum of 6,400. It's not possible here that, for example, the father decides to open a contract on his name only for 6,400, but it's really limited to 3,200 individually. So 3,200 for one spouse and 3,200 maximum for the other one. Possible tax gain here, if this family would deduct 6,400 euros, they could save 2,670 euros in taxes. Raiffeisen, their private pension plan is called RV Pension. So the main goal here is to save up, to save money for a retirement age. You can, as we mentioned, deduct a maximum of 3,200 euros per year. You could already open up such a contract starting with 50 euros per month. So that's the minimum, and that amount can also be changed over the duration of the contract. So you could start, for example, with 50 euros per month and increase that amount later on. At the end of the contract, so basically the end of the contract, when does it happen? There are two rules. So the minimum contract term is 10 years, and the earliest you can access this money is at age 60. So for example, if today you are 40 years old, then the earliest you can access this money is at age 60. If you are 55 years old, the earliest you can access the money will be at age 65, so after 10 years. For those RV pension contracts, you have the choice between different investments into capital protected funds, but also investment funds from Raiffeisen's partner Capital at Work, which is a company, the investment company of the group Foyer. And there you have a choice between different investment funds, and you can also choose ESG funds. So basically funds that are respecting different criteria. Don't hesitate here to contact your bank at Raiffeisen to get more information. Then another deduction on the tax return, it's the home savings plan, a very, let's say, Luxembourgish German thing that may not exist like this in other countries, but it's existing in Luxembourg as well in Germany. So here the maximum deduction is 672 euros per family member in the household. So the kids are involved here. And as well, this maximum ceiling is doubled if at least one of the parents is younger than 41 years, if this younger parent is as well mentioned in the contract. So as an example, father 40 years, mother 38 with two kids, they could deduct here a maximum of 5,376 euros a year, and they could save up to 2,243 euros in taxes. Every bank in Luxembourg is working with a home savings bank. In Luxembourg, we have two home savings banks. We have BHW and Wüstenrot, and Raiffeisen is working with Wüstenrot. So basically, the main goal here is to build up capital to finance the purchase of a home, the renovation of a home, the construction of a home, or if in 10 years you are already a homeowner but you have a mortgage running, you could also use it to pay back on your mortgage. This investment is basically risk-free. Why? Because it's considered as a bank account, and bank accounts in Luxembourg are covered up to 100,000 euros. So if Wüstenrot would get bankruptcy, that's quite probably not the case, but if so, your savings are covered up to 100,000 euros. Normally, those contracts have a runtime for 10 years, and after 10 years, so you can take the money out and you have to use it for your main residency. And when you are getting the capital out of this contract after 10 years, for example, then this capital is tax exempted, so don't pay taxes on this amount. Don't hesitate to contact your bank at Raiffeisen to have more information about this. I would say there's no reason, if your plans are to stay in Luxembourg and at some point or already now buy a home or be a homeowner right now, there's no reason not to open up such a home savings plan. It's something a lot of Luxembourgers are doing. So three different products we just saw that you can deduct on the tax return. So 3 different products from Raiffeisen: Air Protect for the life insurance, RV pension for the private pension plan, and the Wüstenrot home savings plan. The Raiffeisen banker of your branch is there to help you to subscribe to those products. What about mortgage interests? There was a big change over the last 2 years. So now the first two years after availability date, you can fully deduct the interest you are paying on your mortgage. So there's no maximum deductible limit. As an example, if you have a mortgage of 1 million euros with an interest rate of 3.5%, you are paying the first year almost 35,000 euros in interest. Those are fully deductible on your tax return. So that means a huge tax savings. Availability date here, it It's different depending on the home you purchase. So for example, if you bought a new construction, then the availability date will be the date where you have got the keys from your construction company. If you have bought an existing property, and this property was kind of in the good shape, then the notary deed date will be the availability date. And if you bought a ruin, so basically a house without, I don't know, no windows, no heating system, no kitchen, no toilets, and you need major renovations to be done, it will be the date you are registering at the commune. That will be that will set basically the availability date. So the first 2 years, so the year of availability date plus the year after, you can fully deduct your interests. The next 4 years, it's capped at 4,000 euros per person in your household. The next 5 years, it's capped to 3,000 euros per person in the household. And afterwards, it will be capped to 2,000 euros per person in your household. Donations are also deductible on the Luxembourg tax return. Those donations has to go to a recognized non-profit organization, so basically NGOs that are recognized by the Luxembourg state or another European state. In order to deduct those donations, you have to exceed a total of donations of 120 euros. As an example, if you are making 2 donations of 60 euros, so 120 in total, you can deduct those 120. If you are doing 2 donations of 50 each, so 100 in total, those are not deductible. So the minimum of the sum of all donations have to exceed 120 euros, so you can deduct those on your tax return. There's also a maximum, which is quite high, 1 million euros and less than 20% of your net income. What deductions are possible for domestic help and childcare expenses on the Luxembourg tax return? The official name is frais de domesticité. So here the maximum deductible limit is 5,400 euros per household. So it makes no change if they are children or not. So a couple with 2 children can deduct the maximum of 5,400. And if they are doing so, they could save up to 2,251 euros in taxes. This maximum could be exceeded in some cases. There as well, the calculations to determine if you can deduct more is quite complicated. If you are filing your tax return on taxx.lu, the system will do this automatically for you. So basically, you are just mentioning the total of expenses you have in this category, and the system will detect automatically if we can deduct more than 5,400 or not. So what are those frais de domesticité? On one hand, you have cleaning expenses for your home, so for your main residency, for the interior of your main residency, so not for the garden or, for example, for your garden. And there it could be cleaning stuff that you hired on your own, so that you officially declared as working for you to clean your home, or it could also be a cleaning company that is invoicing their services to you. On the other hand, you have childcare expenses. So, for example, expenses for the crèche, for your kids, but also maison relais. So basically, maison relais in Luxembourg, as from last year on, I think it's for free, but not during holiday season. So you may have some expenses for maison relais, and you can also deduct those here in this category. Before starting your tax return, the first thing to do is to get together all your tax certificates. So tax certificates includes, for example, your yearly salary certificates from your employer, but also tax certificates from your insurance company, and also for your bank, from crèche, and so on. As a customer at Raiffeisen, the tax certificates from Raiffeisen, you can find them on their web banking. You can find them under documents, and there's a drop down. You just choose certificates, and then the certificates for you will show up in the list below. So you can just download them to add them to your tax return. If you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to contact your banker to have more information. How to file your tax return once you have gotten all the tax certificates together. You could do it the old way, basically completing the Luxembourg, the official tax return form, which is a PDF counting 20 pages, or you are doing it on our website. it's much easier and more convenient. So basically, what are the steps? I go to your web banking, to your Raiffeisen web banking, download the tax certificates from your bank, get all the other tax certificates together, start the process on taxx.lu. At some point, you can upload all the tax certificates you have gotten, and the system will start to automatically complete your tax return based on the information on those tax certificates. Then follow the different steps. If you have any questions, you can contact our tax experts through a chat or email. On the bottom right of the website, there is a chat field, and there you can ask your questions to our team. They are humans, they are not robots, so they can answer all your questions correctly. At the end, you are paying with a credit card, getting a discount of 30% thanks to Raiffeisen. Don't forget to mention the Raiffeisen bank account in your tax return, and the discount will automatically be applied. And then at the end of the process, you can download the official tax form that is ready to be sent to your tax office. You can upload it on My Guichet, or you can just print it out, sign it, and send it to your tax office. Quick reminder, deadline for the 2024 tax return is December 31st. Don't miss that deadline, because if you're doing so, there could be some penalties that you need to pay, or tax administration could refuse to give you taxes back if they owe you some. So 31st of December, very important date. Don't wait until December 31st to file your tax return for 24. Best would be to do it now in November, because then if you are realizing that there's a tax certificate missing, you still have time to get it from your employer, insurance company, bank, and so on. If you have any questions regarding those different investment products we presented today from Raiffeisen, contact your branch, your Raiffeisen branch, your banker, to have more information. You can also on Airnet, so on the web banking of Raiffeisen, ask them to call you back, and then they will do it normally the day after. And if you have questions about your tax return, don't hesitate to contact my team on help@taxx.lu or by chat when filing your tax return on our website. That's it for today. I hope this was useful, and maybe see you next year. Thank you.